Good morning, Manayunk, and welcome to another episode of Manayunk Mornings at Home. Joining me on the show today is Lauren from The Dream Scene. Lauren, how are you doing today?
Hey, Leo. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So tell me, you just opened up your business and then this whole thing came about. What have you been up to in the last 3 or 4 months?
It's definitely been an adventure starting during this time because I wanted to have a space where people could come together for workshops and events and just have the impact of community. So that's definitely been a challenge. So I've had to do more online stuff. And at the same time, I think with everything that's going on, it's even more aligned with, my mission to inspire and empower people, to become the best versions of themselves. That's really the work that I want to contribute. So it's definitely been a challenge. And at the same time, it's reminded me even more how important it is, to connect with people and how much people really need that support.
Absolutely. So for the people at home who don't know, what is the Dream Scene?
The Dream Scene is an actual physical space. It's 4347 Main Street. And I am a life and relationship coach. So I do one-on-one coaching, workshops, events, and the space is actually a place to hold those events. My vision was always to create a space where people could, come together, get empowered, leave inspired. And so I've been doing more coaching online. So it's really the vision is to inspire and support you to take action on your dreams in both life and love. So relationship coaching, dating coaching, life coaching, just the power of a coach is really just to support you and help you to get clear with what you want and help you to, stay accountable and get out of your own way so that you can achieve that.
Great. So what are some, you don't want to give everything away, but what are some, pointers and things like that you normally work on with clients?
My biggest thing is that I believe everybody has, the power to live a great life and to become the best versions of themselves. And so often we have so many things that hold us back, whether it's stories or beliefs. And so working with clients is really about helping to get clear with what they want and then getting those kind of stories, out of their way. Because I think the mindset, especially now with everything that's going on, people are isolated, they're in their head, they're in their thoughts, there's a lot of fear. And it's just shifting that mindset to something more empowering and just, moving forward and building momentum. I think, fear holds a lot of people back, and having kind of an outside source or support to help you kind of recognize your potential and create action steps to move forward is really what I'm passionate about. There is a ton of fear. There's the lack of connection. And so there's just so much power in knowing somebody has your back and can see that potential for you. So when clients come in, it's, hey, what do you want and what's getting in your way and how can we get you from where you are to where you want to be, whether that's within your career, within a relationship, with how you see yourself, and just shifting your mindset.
Well, I have to ask you, as a small business owner opening up amid a pandemic, how did you stay positive during these last 3 or 4 months, and what kept you going?
See, and that's the biggest challenge because, the service that I'm providing, I want to definitely embody that myself. So I've had to face my own fears and really practice what I preach, that mindset and coming back to the place of like, why did I start this? Because I think for everybody, I always ask, what's your why? What is your reason for getting up every day? And, I think despite everything that's happened, my why was to really want to impact people positively. And so I just had to keep going back to that. And uncertainty can create a lot of anxiety. And I think it's almost like you just have to ride the wave of it and be patient with yourself. And I'd say the biggest thing for everybody would be just to take care of themselves. And same thing for me, making sure that my mindset was my mind's in the right place so that I can support people. So it's definitely been an adventure. But I think we're all everybody's in this together and no one really knows, and things kind of change day to day. So it's just being adaptable and being patient. And that's really been kind of what I've been working on too, because I can't do this work if I'm not practicing it myself.
So were there any other obstacles that you had to face, to get to where you are today? And how did you pivot through those obstacles outside of the pandemic, of course?
It comes back to, going back to, like I said before, your why and believing in yourself and knowing that I think the thing starting this business for me has been my dream, but it comes with a lot of challenges. I always say when you step out into something new, you're going to be challenged. You're going to have to face your own fears, your own limitations. So just knowing that's part of the process and having, the support in place I feel like is what really has helped me, because there is uncertainty, and I think when you don't really know what to expect, everybody's kind of in that same space. So like I said, I think it goes back to practicing what I preach. If I'm telling people to take action on their dreams, and I'm, in this, and, I didn't expect this to happen at this time. And at the same time, it's really testing. I always think if you have a dream or you have a vision for your life, and something that could happen that would get in the way of it and cause a challenge, would you still do it? And I think despite this pandemic, I would still be doing the same work, because this is what I feel like I'm meant to do.
So say you have a first-time client, a potential first-time client who might be watching this show right now, what can they expect, from the moment they reach out until, the end of their first class? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. What I suggest is that if you go onto my website, laurenpilgermeyer.com, you can actually schedule a complimentary 30-minute, just what I call a discovery call, just to kind of see, hey, where in your life could you use some support from a coach? And so that's where I would suggest that they start, especially now, because it's easy just to get on a Zoom call, or if they prefer even over the phone or in person with a mask, socially distanced, they could come into the Dream Scene, the physical location. But I would say start with scheduling a call, and it's just a conversation of like, hey, tell me about yourself. What do you want, and what's getting in your way, and how do you feel like the support of the coach could help you? So it's really just starts with the questions of like, what do you want, and what's stopping you from getting that? What's in your way? And then facilitating that process and saying, okay, hey, one-on-one coaching's for you, or I think, there's a workshop that's coming up that would be ideal as well. So really just kind of starting with a conversation. So
life is a whole learning process. Have you learned a lot over the last 3 or 4 months since you first opened, and what lessons have you learned?
I would say the biggest lesson is you have to just trust yourself and go back to, like I said before, your why of like and not being afraid to make mistakes, because it's, when you take on a new adventure or a venture, there's always going to be a learning curve. And I think just being patient with yourself and just being open to what happens. And you learn, I think as a business owner, you learn about yourself a lot. You learn how you handle things, you learn about your fears, you learn about your strengths, and it's just, have to just be able to embrace it. So I think it goes back to just like kind of trusting yourself and trusting the whole process. As cheesy as that can sound, is just trusting the process and knowing why you started. Because it can, you just have to go back to, why did I start this? And what do I want to contribute? And how do I want to impact people? So
on a personal level, what have you been up to in the last 4 months? Have you taken up any new hobbies? Have you been cooking? Have you been ordering out? What have you been up to?
I've not been cooking. I've definitely had a lot of takeout. There's so many great restaurants here on Main Street. I really, and this is the thing, I've been putting so much energy into my business, and just finding the balance. I also teach yoga. So I teach yoga with Hotbox Yoga right down the street too. So I do teach yoga classes twice a week, and I practice yoga. I try to get outside. I've been trying to get out to the Wissahickon just to get, outside, get fresh air, and move my body. And I think that's, self-care is so important for everybody right now, because it can be easy to get in your head and get discouraged. So it's important to take care of yourself first.
Well, I got to ask, you mentioned takeout from Manayunk restaurants. What have been your go-tos? Any comfort foods or things like that?
Oh, there's so many. Well, I always love the coffee at Bolo. Lucky's Last Chance, Han Dynasty, Goat's Beard. The banh mi's from Me and T, shout out to them, are amazing. So just a lot of great restaurants.
I'm going to wrap things up before you go. What do you love the most about having your business here on Main Street in Manayunk?
I just love this community. I love living here. I love teaching yoga here. I love having a business here now, and just walking down the street, even if we have our masks on, and seeing people that and giving a wave. There's just such a sense of community. The MDC is awesome. They're so supportive. It's just a really great community. It just has that, it's a city, but it has that small town feel. And there's just something special about it. So I'm really grateful to be here. I love Manayunk.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It was great catching up with you. I wish you the best of luck with the Dream Scene. I hope to see you down on Main Street soon.
Thank you so much, Leo. Have a good day.
Well, that's our show for today. It was great having Lauren on the show and officially welcoming her into the Manayunk community. If you love this show, be sure to like, comment, share this video. If you're on our YouTube page, subscribe please. And if you want to watch the last episode, click right here. Just do it. What are you waiting for?